Very, very little water is actually needed. In fact, we see a lot of people who actually, when we do rescue them, they say, hey, when I went into the wash, the water was not that deep. I thought I could make it through easily. And when in fact that water, we try to explain to people that the amount of water flowing is very deceiving. It looks kind of benign, and when you actually get close to the shore, if you actually stick your foot in it, it's really not that powerful. But that's because of the water current. You know, there's so much friction towards the shore that it doesn't seem like the water is really that rough. But actually, when you're towards the middle of the stream or the middle of the wash, that's where there's less friction, and the water is actually very powerful, and it moves large objects such as vehicles, unfortunately.
That's really interesting, and that goes along with what our experience has been, that it only takes 6 inches to maybe a foot of water to move vehicles. And that's one of the key things we always say at the National Weather Service: turn around, don't drown.
Yes.
The key thing is, as you're looking at water moving through a wash, you can't necessarily tell how deep it is. So yeah, that's really it. Is, yeah, the car in front of you may have looked like it got across just fine, but then as the vehicle behind it goes through, well, maybe that second vehicle just doesn't have enough clearance, or the water flow has increased, and you just can't tell.
Yes, that's very true. And we also try to explain that to people as well too. You can't see through that water because it's muddy. It's not crystal clear water, and that water is passing across a roadway, of course, because that's what the vehicle's traveling on. And there can be large potholes there. There can be large amounts of sand, sediment, mud, and there's all kinds of debris that comes down these washes as well too. Just debris such as even chain link fence, sharp objects, things that can cause a lot of damage. So what's underneath that water surface, that's what's actually going to get the vehicle, if it's not the current itself.
Right. What about nighttime? The dangers at night. It just seems like during the day at least you could see, but at nighttime, with everything being dark, it just seems the dangers would be exponentially worse.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. In fact, most of our water rescues, of course, are at night, just because of the fact that it's so much more dangerous and there's less visibility. You know, the headlights only offer so much visibility into the water. The water's even darker, and it's especially dangerous too for the rescuers as well too, because operating under nighttime conditions, we can only set up so much lighting in such a wide area as well too.
How much manpower does it take for swiftwater rescues in a typical occurrence?
Well, manpower, that really actually depends on the situation, how much manpower we actually need. On a typical water rescue where we have a vehicle stuck in a wash, that's a typical scenario. We may need, you know, up to 10, at least a minimum of 10 folks just to do that. We actually need upstream spotters, we need downstream spotters. We're going to need a team of people to make entry into the vehicle by a shallow water crossing if possible. If it's a more advanced rescue, if it's in very deep water in a very wide river or wide body of water, fast moving water, we may have to set up a tension diagonal line across the wash to do that. That also takes a lot of time and is very manpower intensive as well too. But on a typical scenario like that, we might need anywhere from 10 to up to 20 people on a typical rescue call. I know that there's a lot of people out there that they think that they've crossed water before and it's no big deal, or maybe I have a large vehicle and I can always make it through. But they have to realize that there's so many other hazards involved. And the few people who have survived, can attest to the fact that that water is so powerful and it can move vehicles so easily. And once that vehicle does move and gets you in it, it happens so fast that you really don't have much time to bail out. If you do bail out in the water, that's probably even more dangerous as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So we really want people to just, you know, to take some extra time and just turn around. Once again, turn around, don't drown. That's the best advice because it can save your life.